This is Bungie's big weekly news article, This Week in Destiny or This Week in Disappointment. We'll see if they're actually delivering some Edge of Fate news, something new. It's what we want to know. We got Save the Date again. Oh, no. Not another developer live stream, okay? The last one was pretty lackluster. They re-revealed everything they already showed with the content creator reveal, so hopefully this time they learn from those lessons, and they show something new. Last time, the only thing new we saw was the heavy legendary crossbow. So here we go. This next developer live stream is going to be about Armor 3.0, gear tiers, and sandbox. Okay. Next week, let's chat a little bit more about Kepler and what's coming with the Edge of Fate. That sounds better. Okay. July 1st, 10 a.m. Pacific time for our second Edge of Fate developer live stream. We're planning to give you a glimpse of the campaign, crank up the difficulty with the new world tier systems, and let you see how this and other new sandbox changes come together. All right. We also have the dev team on the floor ready to share many details about power, progression, the portal, guardian ranks, quality of life changes, and more. So there it is. And if you do tune in, as always, they're going to do this emblem giveaway. So just make sure you have your Twitch account and your Bungie account linked up. The Ionians and Exiles and the Nine. Oh my. If you couldn't attend our first live stream for the Edge of Fate, we got your back. First up, here's our developer insight discussing Kepler, the new destination that's home to the Ionians and the Exiles, the circumstances that have shaped their existence, and the conflict they find themselves in. Okay, so we've already seen all of this. We've covered this pretty thoroughly. All right. A leather-bound binder locked by a numeric code, black filled with documentation regarding space, and binder is scarred with unknown residue, like rubberized mold. An addition has been made to the pages within. Nice. We got like a little lore entry here. Otherwise, the binder itself appears to retain its original properties and pages. Contains classified information that has been stricken from this audit. Agents may request access directly from Director Moffat. Report: a DEO binder disappeared from a DEO test site. An anomalous object was found in the back lot outside DEO Site 7 on the ground. It has been confirmed on 3 separate occasions that this object is in fact the very same binder that Internal Institute initiated this audit to recover. All right, so there is no missing information, but the DEO cannot assume the information within has not been copied, and the addition to the binder's contents brings up questions of its origin. The II will transfer investigation of this matter to a more appropriate internal department equipped to analyze temporal. All right. Very interesting. So there it is. We got an incident archive. And new armor for a new beginning. So we got armor 1.0 laid the groundwork. We had armor 2.0. Now it's time for armor 3.0. Okay, with the release of Edge of Fate, armor is going to have set bonuses. We already know how this works. If you wear 2 pieces of armor set, you're going to get this bonus. If you wear 4 pieces, you're going to get this bonus. And all of them have different perks and positives. So, for example, Aeon Renewal set. After a final blow with missiles, rocket launchers, and grenade launchers, sprint for a short time to gain speed booster. So this one is, I think, one of the worst ones. This one's the one that has people the least interested. Reactive booster, once per activation of anomalous servos, sprinting while at critical health, being suspended, or being slowed by a stasis effect will immediately grant speed booster for short duration. Yeah, I don't know about that one. We got Tech Sec, which is Wrecker. You deal significantly increased kinetic damage to overshields, combat shields, and constructs. Not bad. And concussive rounds. Defeating powerful combatants or breaking a combatant shield with kinetic damage releases a disorienting kinetic shockwave. Alright. There are going to be some strong ones out there. I wonder what the raid armor will have for its 2-piece and 4-piece perk set bonus. Could be spicy. Armor archetypes. One of the major focuses for us when redesigning how armor works in Age of Fate was clarity. Not only do these changes help newer Guardians acclimate to more complex build crafting, but they also help experienced players quickly evaluate individual armor drops and decide what is the best fit for their build. Armor archetypes are a key part of that effort. So yeah, each armor has its own particular archetype. So when you see the logo on it, it'll say like Paragon, Grenadier, Specialist, so you'll know if you're currently trying to get all specialist armor, right? Then you'll know very quickly if you want that armor piece. So it makes it faster or it makes it streamlined when you get new drops to evaluate, is this good or can I just delete this? Instead of having to get a new drop and then you know, go in your inventory, inspect it, and then analyze it, and then compare it on a third-party site. You know, sometimes you have to compare it to see if this will get me to stat 200, right? Like the new stats, or not. Instead, we'll have a more streamlined approach towards that. So this should be good. Masterworking. Oh, interesting. We wanted to make sure that it was easy to try out a new piece of armor. So we've updated the masterworking system for any armor 3.0 drops. All armor 3.0 drops will have their maximum armor energy available regardless of masterwork level. Masterworking armor no longer increases all stats. The amount granted by the primary, secondary, and tertiary stats rolled will not change with exception of armor mods. Masterworking now increases your lowest 3 stats on that piece of armor by +1 with each level. This has a maximum of +5 in each, or +15 stats total. Nice. And then you got the gear tiered system, so from tier 1 to tier 5. So this is what the stats will look like on armor. So this will be the base for tier 1, okay? Tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. And you'll get an extra mod energy in tier 4 armor, an extra mod energy and random tuned stat in tier 5 armor. So it'll be worth it to grind out for tier 5 armor in the long run. Okay. So you can see this is what it looks like. You'll have your 2-piece armor set bonus, 4-piece armor set bonus. You'll have energy 11 out of 11. All right. You got your stats overall here. Total comes up to 100. Health, melee, grenade, super, and class, and weapon stat. Very good. We've covered a good amount of this overall. So we want to breeze through this a little bit. Long term, we hope to eventually add support for exotics to access the benefits of higher tiers using a dedicated system that reflects their nature as a unique centerpiece in your builds. Although this system won't be ready for the Year of Prophecy, we wanted to make sure that exotic armor could benefit from armor archetypes and the reworked masterworking system. While your existing rolls will be converted 1-to-1 to the new stats, new drops of exotic armor will be upgraded to Armor 3.0, which means they will have their stats determined by archetypes, receiving the new masterworking system, and drop with full mod energy by default. While these drops will not have a specific gear tier, their stats will roll as if they were tier 2. Once masterworked, this should be comparable to all but the very best Armor 2.0 rolls. Okay. To make this transition a little easier, A1 will be offering 20 free focused exotic armors per account to anyone who has their tower access prior to the release of the Edge of Fate. Alright. This special focusing will be available throughout the Year of Prophecy and will allow you to focus any non-class item exotic from the final shape or before an archetype of your choice, as long as you have it unlocked in collections. So, get to unlocking everything, as we mentioned before. There you go. Let's talk about gear swapping. So when you swap, they had the not swap penalty before. Here we go. Sounds good, Crimson. We want to highlight one specific change we're making to a specific Warlock exotic armor come July 15th that we missed in last week's TWID. For those who aren't too deep in build crafting, many Guardians have been leveraging an interesting strategy mid-combat with exotics like Sanguine Alchemy, where they swap to take advantage of alternate exotic bonuses, armor swapping or loadout swapping, right? That better fit the current point in the encounter's flow. This is to maximize their efficiency and output, resulting in pumping out some incredible boss bakes, especially in ultimatum dungeons. While we fully applaud those throughout the community who want to push the needle as far as it can go, we found that this is presenting balance issues where it feels mandatory. And we don't feel the main draw of the exotic should be centered around swap-centric strategies. Sanguine Alchemy. Swapping to this exotic in combat will now apply a 10-second cooldown before its perk can be activated. Oh no. Oh man. Much like the changes to melee stacking in last week's TWID, we want to be able to make exotics that meaningfully change your gameplay, and at current, these types of behavior are constricting how much we can push that bar. The above change is a minor first step that's targeting one exotic during our launch window, but we'll be taking a larger approach later this year. When this holistic fix is implemented, we will re-examine this change and see if it's still necessary. There you go. A lot of people will be unhappy about that. I'll say this. I don't care for armor swapping either way. It just makes you a lot more powerful. I understand that it's not a thing by design, so I don't mind Bungie trying to make it so that you can't do it, but people will be mad because it kind of slows the game down a little bit. So I expect Twitter to be on fire for the entirety of today and tomorrow. Starting with the Edge of Fate, certain exotic armor weapons will be specifically featured, gaining the same benefits as new gear, and will change with each expansion and major update. At the Edge of Fate's launch, 28 exotic weapons and 15 exotic armors for each class will be featured, including all new Edge of Fate exotic weapons and armor. But don't worry, even if your favorite isn't on the list, you'll still be able to use it everywhere you go. So you got all these exotic armors, okay, and all these weapons. Very nice, very nice. They're going to be these featured ones will be crazy. A lot of people are skeptical of how that will feel once that goes live. All right, balancing the scale of abilities. Stats and abilities go hand in hand, so it's only fitting that we share the remaining upcoming ability changes coming in the Edge of Fate. If you recall, we spoke about melee tuning and other various ability changes in last week's TWID. We spoke about prismatic changes a few weeks ago, but to summarize, it's been a bit too hot since release, and we made some challenges trivial, so we're reining it in to be more in line with other subclasses. So, a bunch of changes coming to Warlock, Prismatic, getting nerfed, Hellion from 3 to 2, Bleak Watcher from 3 to 2, Prismatic Strand, Weaver's Call, can now generate thread links on any final blow instead of just strand final blows. Okay. Void for the Warlock, Pocket Singularity melee. Alright, so we got increased versus non-boss combatants by 26% and by 56% against bosses. Titan Prismatic, Consecration, providing less fragment slots down from 3 to 2. Consecration Aspect, increased fragment slots from 2 to 3. There we go. And Prismatic / Strand, Dranger's Lash, getting some changes. They talked a little about this before. Increase the tracking strength, base suspend wave, and Abeyant Leap, exotic armor suspend wave. Increase base suspend wave travel distance from 20 to 30 meters. And the travel distance from 30 to 35. Prismatic / Solar. Consecration. Ignition no longer has plus 20% damage bonus. Dang. RIP to the Consecration Titans out there. That hurts. Void shield throw. Increased projectile tracking strength by 77%. Arc, Storm's Keep. Benefits no longer stack when standing behind multiple barricades. Oof. Titans just got nerfed hard. Hunter, General, Gambler's Dodge. Melee energy returning no longer requires dodging near an enemy, but it obviously doesn't give a full melee, so you have to have a certain amount of stats. Talked about this. Prismatic getting adjusted as well from 3 to 2 for a lot of the more powerful aspects, right? Giving you less fragment slots. That's kind of their way of adjusting the outliers. Prismatic / Solar, got Gunpowder Gamble aspect. Reduce self-damage from Gunpowder Gamble by 60%. Final blows now grant Gunpowder Gamble progress instead of just solar kills. Nice. Solar on your mark. Final blows will, while at 3 stacks on your mark, will now make you radiant for a short time. Activating your class ability now gives you 1 stack of on your mark instead of 3 stacks. For Arc Hunters out there, Ascension, now activate the following perks. Reaper, all the perks, got you here. All of these class ability perks, nice. And Exotics, Hoyle, and Gerfalcons. Alright, those are the adjustments. For Prismatic, Prismatic's been pretty overtuned for a while, so I expect that coming. In general, we got increased damage versus bosses, mini bosses, champions, and 15% for these grenades. Arc grenades, Void, Solar, Kinetic, the Rock grenade, which is Forerunner, which is funny. All damage types, ability energy returns from perks, and passive regen now scales based on the requisite stat. And Devour, heal amount from 200 to 140. Devour's been really powerful for a while. Strand, increased base suspend duration from 5 to 6 seconds. Stasis Shatter, now stuns overload champions instead of unstoppable champions. Really? Okay, I'd be mindful of that. And Arc, Flux Grenade, significantly reduces base cooldown time. Increased projectile size to make a bit easier to stick to targets. Alright, some big sandbox changes there. New rewards pass incoming. With that comes exciting updates to our seasonal pass model. Much like ye olden times, there will be 4 reward passes available during the Year of Prophecy, and just like before, the cost of these reward passes is going to be reduced to 1,000 silver. But what we're really excited to announce is that every rank reward will be available to earn day 1, no more having to wait for a new act to launch to unlock more ranks. We've adjusted them to feel more rewarding too. For one, we've refactored some boosts and added some new ones, removing some that were determined to be less than desirable. The new boosts offer comprehensible bonuses that apply to a wide range of content as opposed to narrowly boosting specific season content. Okay. Activity score boost, 15% score bonus on all portal activities. Nice. Prime Engram boost increases the possibility of desirable armor and weapon drops from portal activities. Weekly challenge boost allows players to complete their various weekly seasonal hub challenges faster, streamlining their access to additional high-value rewards. XP boost has been refactored to apply a 40% bonus to XP earnings when fully unlocked, along with a 20% bonus to Fireteam member XP. Additionally, the total number of XP boost items has been reduced to make space for additional rewards. Okay. Secondly, premium track armor rewards have also been reworked so that players will acquire a full set of both PvE and PvP armor. And the free track will offer 5 pieces split between the 2 sets, allowing players to unlock a partial set bonus for each. Wow. Thirdly, we took a pass at our reward allocation to ensure that we are providing as much value as possible for all players. The allocation of various free rewards has been increased, and players will be able to acquire more cosmetic rewards within the first 100 ranks of the pass compared to the prior season passes. With a return to 4 passes per year, we've reduced the pass ranks down to 110. Why the extra 10? You may ask. Well, they're extra special. While we set to reduce the overall grind and remove the time getting introduced during episodes, we still wanted to preserve some aspects of the aspirational progression and chase rewards that our larger season passes provided. These additional 10 ranks are packed with valuable rewards for both free and premium players, require 500,000 XP each to earn, wow, and can only be acquired through gameplay. While we have ensured that the first 100 ranks provide more value than ever before, we hope that you also enjoy having additional rewards to chase after achieving rank 100. Those are going to be some serious ranks. That's going to be kind of crazy. All right, so what do you think about that? That's going to be a grind at the end there. You're going to get your season pass to 100, and then everything past that is going to have some you can see the loot that's in here. This is some serious business. Adding a little bit of a grind. It's not necessary, but adding a little bit more of a grind if you're interested. Bungie Day is almost here. All right, that's July 7th. All right, and they're going to be doing, officially kicks off, will run. Second edition of our 7th column Chaos PvP tournament. Very cool. Very cool. All right, all the money goes towards the Bungie Foundation. And if you want to support, you can get this emblem here. We got the Steam Summer Sale going on right now. If you're interested, you're going to save a bunch, 92% off Destiny 2 expansions. So now is definitely the time to buy. All right, you got the Light and Darkness Saga, 85%, 90%, 80%. Jeez. Player support report, whole list of known issues, and Artist of the Week, very nice. And Movie of the Week, and that's a wrap. Very cool, very cool. A lot of recap from stuff we've seen before, but I think that the new season pass adds a little bit of a grind. Let's see what our resident experts have to say here.
What are we watching?
We are live right now. You're going to make it in the video. Let's hear our opinions. Let's have a breakdown.
Removing new seasonal stuff for the raid was awesome. However, still very concerned that we are paying for basically nothing at the same price of the final shape.
Yeah, that's a problem. No strikes, no lost sectors.
Dude, people were getting mad at me earlier because I was like, guys, there aren't any lost sectors. Like, why do you care so much about those? I'm like, because you're not replacing them with anything of value. Like, all the stuff you're replacing them with is free for everybody. So we're just paying for less. Like, that's an objective fact. I don't give a shit about the lost sectors. like at least put something there. There's no destination activity, right? There's no like overthrow type thing that we know of. We
Yeah.
don't know of a strike. Compare this to this time last year. All of the creators were specifically told to play overthrow in their like preview event, and they had like a whole Vidoc just for the strike. You know, like I just there's a very steep drop off in what we're getting for the same price of last year. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just a little bit concerning.
I agree.
Is
I
all.
agree. I agree. 1 second. So let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. How are you feeling about the Edge of Fate? Have you pre-ordered? And have you seen my most recent video? We did a breakdown of the lack of pre-orders currently going on. Make sure you check that one out. It's on the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.